form. Look, that Antrim team is very, very strong. Their full forward line, as we mentioned, has 947 scored coming into this game, so that's something that Kerry are going to have to be really alert to, and I think they'll probably look at trying to cut off the supply from out the field, and if they can do that and stick with Antrim, you know, as I said, it's an All-Ireland final. They have the hurler of a calibre of Shane Conway amongst their ranks, so, you know, if he brings his A game today and the supporting players around him get into this, and, you know, they can give Antrim a real rattle here today, and past results will be forgotten if they can win this one here today and get up to Lee McCarthy next year.
Yeah, big opportunity for both of these teams. A match which is going to be handled by referee Liam Gordon from Killimer in County Galway. He's already handled the Tipperary, Limerick and Wexford Clare matches in 2020. His linesmen are Sean Stack from Dublin and Patrick Murphy from Carlow. And there is a man in pensive mood, Fintan O'Connor. 5 years in charge of Kerry. Match gets underway. It's Antrim from left to right in the saffron shirts. First possession for Paddy O'Connor, centre field player for Kerry. Kerry last here some 5 years ago in the final of the Christie Ring Cup. Under pressure here was Paddy Burke, helped out and managing to get that ball away, looking for James McNaughton, not quite finding him on this occasion. McNaughton set to have a big role to play, you'd imagine, for the Saffrons at centre half forward. Here's Michael Bradley going way back. Plenty of Kerry backs there to try and deal with this attack, but pressure applied, and that is Kieran Clark under pressure. Referee blows his whistle, or does he? No, he allows play to continue. No foul, he says. Back out it comes as far as Paddy O'Connor again, goes low to pick this one up, confronted there by Owen Campbell. Campbell trying to win that ball back. Instead it's Conor McCann giving it forward towards McNaughton, trying to prod it forward. Across comes Fionn Mackesy, and the centre half back knocks it out of play.
Yeah, Kerry back's doing really well there, you know, just a glimpse, I suppose, of the potential inside in that Antrim full forward line with Kieran Clark just breaking onto that last ball. But as I said, Kerry ferocious in the attack there and did well, and a chance now for Antrim maybe to cut this one into the danger area. James
McNaughton from Lochgiel Shamrocks. Goal and 2 points already in this campaign. That goes straight to the centre half back. Fionn Mackesy under pressure immediately. Look at the eagerness of the Antrim players trying to get primary possession in there, but it's won back, however, and taken away. Jason Diggins under pressure, up into the air it goes. Trying to help out there was Shane Conway, back around his own half back line, trying to get involved, trying to get possession. He gets it, and Shane Conway, out he comes here. The man so many people have looked forward to seeing play in the McDonagh Cup final. The little hand pass goes astray, however. It was intended for Michael O'Leary, didn't quite work out.
No,
Line
just
ball
a
for Antrim.
Mix up there just between Michael Leanne and Michael O'Leary as the pass was coming for Shane Conway, but I suppose a glimpse of the speed and the footwork and the ball carrying ability that he has, you know, has had to come deep into his own half back line to gather that one, but a glimpse of what the potential is.
Manager Darren Gleeson looking on for Antrim. McNaughton has it. Challenge there by Shane Conway. Stalemate. Well, who's going to come up with it eventually? Not exactly wintry conditions, because the pitch is in very good order, even though it had a camogie match last night, and looking forward to the big one for the hurlers of Waterford and Limerick at 3:30. Thrown in anyway, and it comes to Paddy O'Connor, trying to get away. Stopped, however. It's Gerard Walsh who has it. Then the foul is recognised by the referee Liam Gordon, and it's going to be a free and an opportunity for Antrim to take the lead here.
Yeah, ferocious tackling there, and I suppose just a symbol of how often these teams have met during the year, you know, very familiar with one another, a lot of matchups all over the field, and everyone just gets anxious to get off to a good start.
Kieran Clark will have the honour perhaps of putting over the first point of the day on All-Ireland Hurling Final Sunday. Man from Ballycastle. Well, he's got, as I mentioned in the scene set, 4 goals and 36 so far, and 129 coming from frees. On a perfect afternoon, very light breeze blowing against him, and that's safely between the uprights, and that's the opening point of the Joe McDonagh Cup final.
Yeah, good start from Antrim there after, you know, a bit of sustained pressure down there, and the Antrim half back line, we see Ger Walsh, she's gone over to pick up Shane Conway now.
Good puck out way down there towards Michael O'Leary. One back, Niall McKenna, lost to Dan Collins of Kerry, and now it's Jason Diggins feeding it forward here, across by Paddy O'Connor, locating Mikey Boyle, the very experienced man, 45 metres out from the target, driving it in, but driving it to the left. And a first wide of the match. It's for Kerry, and it's for Mikey Boyle, a man who began playing at this level 17 years ago. puck out as far as Stephen Rooney, the St. Paul's player. Helped out there by joemcd. Up into the corner it goes. Kieran Clark goes across, fetches, comes across, gets away from two would-be challengers and locates the target with perfect accuracy. That's a brilliant point by Clark, and that is a second one for Antrim, and he's got both scores.
Yeah, and real symbolic of the way that Antrim have been playing, you know, not afraid to play it out short from the back and work it up through the lines into that really potent full forward line in there and reap the rewards on the scoreboard that time.
Jason Diggins into the centre here, retained by Shane Nolan. Big performance will be expected from Shane Nolan. Fionn Mackesy down here, and the referee's got to bring the ball back. No advantage accruing to Kerry, so free for them from the middle of the park. Mackesy from the St. Brendan's club. And this is going to be taken by Shane Conway, one of the brightest talents in hurling at present. UCC man, as was mentioned by the panel, he has excelled year after year in the Fitzgibbon Cup for UCC. From right in the middle of the park, light breeze behind him. Now can he get Kerry's first score in this final? Long way out, giving it everything, up into the air, perfect accuracy, beautiful point by Shane Conway.
Yeah, super start for a super player. You know, he's been lighting up Cork Club Championship as well as Fitzgibbon Cup over the last number of years, along with a certain Jamie Byrne from Waterford. So, you know, big day for both those players today.
Sure is. Antrim now trying to hold on to their own puck out there through Michael Bradley, inside towards Owen Campbell. A little bit loose there for Niall McKenna to have to go back and fetch, confronted by two Kerry players, slips it forward again. Campbell trying to be at the receiving end of this one, but it ends up being a line ball to Antrim.
Yeah, and that's how Antrim will look to attack, you know, win that ball on the half-forward line and run at that Kerry defence. Once that half-forward line breaks, they're looking for the inside line then straight away, and that's what's led them to so many goals in this campaign to date.
This is the third ever McDonagh Cup final. Antrim and Kerry trying to win their first title. And that's James McNaughton coming away from it there, trying to get away from Shane Conway. And he holds on too long, takes too many steps, and it's got to be a free against McNaughton. Free out for Kerry. Early stages in the match, as you can see, just 6.5 minutes gone. Antrim with a slight advantage.
Yeah, big turnover there for Kerry in their own half-back line. You know, James McNaughton has been having a really good year for Antrim and real pacey forward on that half-forward line. So, you know, Kerry obviously don't want him to be breaking the line and heading into that full forward line. So a really important free for them to win there and a big turnover. A
little bit too far out for Shane Conway, so it's got to be the other Shane Nolan, who hits this one. Trying to land it now in the square, see what might happen. Well, he's gone the whole way for it, and it's gone just to the left, and a second wide for Kerry.
Yeah, a long way out, a lot of distance, had the distance but just not the accuracy, and maybe would have been a little bit better off to maybe put it into the danger area there down in on top of Mikey Boylan.
That's a huge puck out here, dropping 45 metres out. Kerry trying to hold on to this one, succeeding with Shane Nolan. Under pressure, gives it back there as far as Brandon Barrett, was part of a Kerry football minor squad back in 2014, winning All-Ireland honours here. Jason Diggins into the centre towards Paddy O'Connor. Both sides trying to settle down in this final. Nerves are bound to be a factor. Michael O'Leary across, and he's given the ball away to James McNaughton, and that ball is carried on here by Niall McKenna. McKenna up to the 20-metre line. It's still McKenna, hooks brilliantly. Brilliant stop. Well, it's got to be a free in, the referee says. Fionn Mackesy anyway stopped the progress of Niall McKenna there, and it's got to be a free in from the 20-metre line.
Yeah, just a little bit sloppy from Kerry in possession out around the middle of the field. That crossfield pass just didn't work out, and as we said, Antrim are so good going forward. Even watching their warm-up there, it's all short passing, quick movement off the shoulder, and they got the overlap there and they weren't afraid to try and go for the jugular. So
it's a chance for Antrim to go two in front. Running repairs being carried out, but it'll be Kieran Close, I imagine, who will take this one. Man who got 2 goals and 9 points against Carlow in the 2017 Christy Ring final here. 7 of those were from frees. That was Antrim's last appearance at Croke Park. Both these sides have played in the Leinster Championship, of course, in recent years, as in the last 7 or 8 years. So that will be the reward, apart from the trophy itself and the honour and glory for next year. Clark taking and sticking it over the bar for his 3rd point of the match. 2 of those coming from frees, and Antrim with an advantage after 9 minutes of play. As expected, Darren Gleeson, his team in front. Darren credited with bringing a fresh professional approach to management in Antrim hurling. Back there to win this is Stephen Rooney, establishing a platform at the back from which Antrim hope to supply the forwards, led by Conor McCann, and McCann becomes the first man other than Kieran Clark to score in this final for Antrim. Big, powerful full forward.
Yeah, did really well to knock that ball down into himself, made a little bit of space, but you know, Kerry just failing to kind of deal with their own puck out there, and they need to win a bit of primary possession from that.
From this puck out, it's aimed over there towards Michael O'Leary, went off the Antrim stick, the stick there of Joe Maskey. Joe Maskey playing against a Kerry team for the second time. He was here last year for his club, Nevena, in the intermediate final against Kilcommon, hoping for a better return this time. Fintan O'Connor has done wonderful work with the likes of Brendan Cummins and Brian Culbert and the rest of the backroom team, preparing this Kerry side. Shane Conway now to cut this one up. Good, decent connection up onto the 20-metre line. Kerry need to make it stick inside there. Joe Maskey trying to roll it up on the stick, the number 7 there for Antrim, right in the thick of it. Not easy. Dan Collins trying to win it, number 13 for Kerry, but it comes out eventually into Antrim possession, and it's Gerard Walsh. Just manages to get it forward. Niall McKenna, low in there towards Clark once again. Runs on instead to McNaughton. And James McNaughton, a little block on that one, but it's gone behind off the stick of the Kerry back, so that'll be the first 65 of the match.
Yeah, great defending again from Kerry back there, and from McCuskey, and Brandon Barrett dropped back into the pocket there, and he was the spare Kerry player there, that if the overlap did develop, he's back in that sweeper role just inside his full back line.
So a very lively opening 11 minutes here. Antrim edging it. Antrim very much the favourites to take the cup. So this, the first 65 of the game. Near perfect conditions after dreadful rain early on in the morning and very heavy overnight rain in the Dublin area. Once again, it's Kieran Clark from Ballycastle to add to the 3 points he's already scored here. Low trajectory, too low that time, straight into the hands of John B. O'Halloran. Out into the corner here as far as Tomas O'Connor, slipping it out to Fionn Mackesy. Going short, retained well. Now it's with Paddy O'Connor, trying to get away from Owen Campbell, needing support. Back it comes. Players calling for it, that's a diagonal which isn't maybe the best option taken, and Gerard Walsh is able to get onto it immediately, and Antrim quite easily able to win it back. Now look at the care and attention they are using and the way in which they're making progress. Owen Campbell hitting it forward here, looking for the full forward. Conor McCann well marshalled this time. Tomas O'Connor gets it, losing his way. 2 challenges there from Antrim players needing some support. Dan Collins back in helping out. Kerry with just 1 point after 12.5 minutes, looking to try and get more into the game and looking to try and get a foothold.
Yeah, and I think, you know, Shane Conway is operating a lot out around the middle of the field and maybe closer to his own half back line, picking up some breaks, so they probably need to start pushing him up a little bit and trying to make an impact on the scoreboard. Only that 1 point from him so far, you know, so Kerry will need to kick on now maybe just before the water break and try and close that gap a small bit.
Well, the 2 goalkeepers from Tipperary, Brendan Cummins and Darren Gleeson, very much in our thoughts in terms of the way in which they have prepared their sides for this match. Once again, it's Shane Conway. Now he's very, very far back, so he goes short instead. Looking to try and take it back. Paddy O'Connor now looking to hit a point from open play. It's a lovely score coming after 13 minutes of play. Paddy O'Connor, that short free worked cleverly.
Yeah, really clever use of the ball from Shane Conway. I suppose aware that he was too far out and happy to play it short, and went for the return again but didn't need to, and Paddy O'Connor obliged.
That went off the stick of Michael Lean from Ballyhaig, so it's going to be a line ball for Joe Maskey. Joe in his 4th year on this Antrim team. They prepared a lovely brochure, by the way, by the PRO up there, Sean Kelly, to celebrate the return of an Antrim team back in a Croke Park final. This is aimed towards James McNaughton. Paddy O'Connor trying to win it. Instead it's Campbell. Getting it out here. Taken up well in the end by Paddy Burke from Cushendall. And Paddy Burke lets it off, but to the left, and it's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, just a little bit over anxious, I suppose, drove out and the opportunity presented itself, not too far out and had a go at it, but maybe again better off to play it into that full forward line where they are so lethal.
From this puck out here, down towards Shane Conway, broken down, but anticipating the breaks is Gerard Walsh, one of the O'Donovan Rossa players, nicely inside here towards Kieran Clark, and Clark completes it beautifully. Simple and effective hurling, and the effectiveness has really been demonstrated by the men wearing the saffron.
Yeah, great ball in, being a kick from Gerard Walsh. Has had a really great year for Antrim, but such control, and just to deaden the ball on the hurl like that and then turn and spin it over the bar. Great score for Clark.
Kerry having it all to do. Kerry looking very nervous and very anxious in these early minutes. Well, they're going to get a sideline ball in conclave there. Fintan O'Connor and his men. What changes, what plans can they hatch? In spite of having the better of things, Antrim are really only 3 points in front.
Yeah, you know, credit to the Kerry backs. They have their man drop back there well, and they're using the ball relatively well out the field, but just not really making an impact inside the Antrim 45.
That's a good cut there, over towards Michael O'Leary, but winning it back there again is James McNaughton, and McNaughton 65 metres out now from the Kerry goal, now make it 45, and a challenge came in there, and it's Brandon Barrett who's able to pick up the pieces, send it along downfield again, looking to try and retain it, looking to try and get some decent ball into their inside forwards. Going down there was Michael O'Leary under the challenge, but out over the line as well. So Joe Maskey will have this sideline cut. Going backwards as far as the quarterback, Stephen Rooney. Now a big long one in there once again towards Kieran Clark. Clark with 4 points against his name so far. 2 of those coming from open play. Stolen from him, but it went off the cornerback, Brian Murphy, captain of the team out of the park there for Kerry, and another 65 the result.
Yeah, Clark did really well there, you know, on the end line, back towards his goal, did really well to just hold it up against the 2 Kerry players, and fortunate enough then that it spilled out of Brian Murphy's hand and earned Antrim a 65.
Brian Murphy, who is from Causeway, Cork-based Garda, and who damaged his hand when they played in Belfast recently, so he missed the last round of the championship, and there was a real worry that he might miss this one as well. 65 is going to be the next thing we're going to see, and that will be Kieran Clark once again. From up there, up in Ballycastle, where they've been playing county finals, home of hurling up there. Great to see an Antrim team back out there again, hurling in Croke Park, and great to see Kerry here. We don't see Kerry teams all that terribly often playing hurling here, but it's Kieran Clark hitting it in dangerously, could go anywhere, kicked away, eventually taken under control by Brandon Barrett, hand passed out as far as Shane Nolan, and he keeps it moving outside here as far as Jason Diggins, and they need to get the ball away. Holding on to that really well was Michael Lean, did well, helped out by Brian Murphy. The team captain now, calling for it was Paudie O'Connor. Murphy ignores him and hits the hand pass outside, but it's intercepted and taken there by Joe Maskey. And Maskey is able to feed it simply and effectively as far as McNaughton, and James McNaughton turned away because he knew it was going straight over the bar, and that's exactly what happened. Brilliant point by 23-year-old James McNaughton from Lochiel Shamrocks.
And that is really the difference in the first 18 minutes here, Ger. You know, Kerry building up maybe a slower attack, but coming up against that Antrim half backline, and their attack has been broken down time and time again, and then Antrim turning you over and hitting you on the counter attack with players with the speed of James McNaughton. And you know, once he was turned facing the Kerry goal there, he was always looking at either a point or if he could carry it further, but happy to take the point from that Kerry turnover.
It seems strange to be viewing a final which is named after someone whose memory for all of us is so fresh. Seems like only yesterday that, well, Joe McDonagh was a leading figure within GAA administration. He was, of course, the 32nd president of the GAA, and he served between 1997 and 2000, and part of Galway's winning squad in 2018. Died far too young in 2016. This is what happened here a little while ago. That was that challenge there by Fionn Mackesy as James McNaughton was coming through. And there was a lovely point by McNaughton just a little while after that. McNaughton comes from a very strong hurling tradition. His sister Lucia, she was playing, last week, playing for Antrim against Down in the intermediate camogie final up in Cavan, which we brought to you on RTE. And his dad was, Seamus was an All-Ireland winner back with Lochiel in the club championship in 1983.
Yeah, really strong connections in both Kerry and Antrim. You know, great traditions of hurling in both the pockets, and you know, it's spreading throughout Kerry. As we mentioned, 2 city clubs in the intermediate final there this year with Crokes and Tralee Parnell. So you know, the gospel is spreading through Kerry and Antrim, and that's why a day like today is so important to both those counties to showcase the best of their hurling abilities. And you know, out there players the likes of Clark and Shane Conway there for the whole hurling world to see.
Well, Antrim have had the advantage, Elaine, in the opening quarter, but they're only 4 points up. Let's see what happens in the second quarter of this McDonagh Cup final, live at Croke Park. Jared Walsh, right half back, no pressure on him, able to ping this ball forward here, look for his full forward. Michael Bradley was the one who was over there, likewise Conor McCann, eventually robbed, and as Paddy O'Connor who steals it, drives it back down. It's 2 against 3, however, and the 3 should win this back, and the 3 are wearing the Antrim shirts, and Paddy Burke has it, slipping on the ground, however, challenged by a couple of Kerry men. Stephen Rooney now, helped out by Joe Maskey, and Maskey fires it forward. Diving to get it back was Michael O'Leary, taken there by Shane Conway, held onto by Shane Nolan. Running across at his ease to take this is Dan Collins. They need a point, Kerry, but that's going, I think, the wrong side of the post, and it's a 3rd wide by Kerry.
Yeah, and it's a pity because the build-up there was really good. Great vision out of Shane Conway to pick out Shane Nolan and lovely ball through, but just the finish didn't match it.
Ryan Elliott was trying to locate Owen Campbell, but he was marked by 3 Kerry players. He still hasn't given up on it, but right now it's Dan Collins who's got it, gives it there as far as Shane Nolan. Nolan fires it, ooh, it's gone all the way in, and it's a goal! A goal for Kerry. Mikey Boyle coming after 20 minutes.
Yeah, a real opportunistic goal from Mikey Boyle. You know, on an ordinary occasion you'd be shouting at the full forward to get out in front of their player, but on that occasion Matty Donnelly just took his eye off the ball, slipped through, and no better man than Mikey Boyle on the edge of the square to finish it.
We should point out there's a very strong sunlight into his eyes, and I think he was probably deceived by the sunlight there and the flight of the ball, but it's a Kerry goal, and now there's just a point between them, and Mikey Boyle has it again, and this to try and level up the game, but it's gone the wrong side of the post.
Yeah, and a bit of life about Kerry now that we hadn't seen maybe in that first 18 minutes. You know, that goal might spur them to life a little bit and play more attacking up front.
Well, in these matches, this is the 4th game between these sides this year. Antrim have managed 8 goals so far. Kerry had 7, now they've got 8. And now it's Dan Collins firing it in, looking for a bit more this time, but it's gone the same side of the post as the last one by Mikey Boyle. 5 wides.
Yeah, and a couple there in quick succession, you know, just when they seem to have Antrim on the back foot a little bit. You know, if they put over those, they'd be starting to stretch ahead a little bit and maybe ask some more questions of Antrim, but big misses there from Kerry in the last few minutes.
Joe Maskey challenged there vigorously by Michael O'Leary, who wasn't going to give up on that one. O'Leary, who was a goal scorer against Meath in the last round of the competition. That's the goal again there. And I think Matty Donnelly was just deceived by the flight of the ball, lost it in the sunlight, and Boyle was in to profit.
Yeah, great finish, and a similar goal in the league final. I think a ball that was batted down by the Antrim full back line, and he swung it on the ground into the net. So, you know, a real goal poacher in there.
Maskey firing this line ball in here. Coming across and taking it there was Eric Lean from St Brendan's Ardfert to Shane Conway. 1 point against his name so far, that from a free. He's been well marked by Antrim. Jared Walsh hitting it back towards Dan McCluskey. Dan playing very deep. One here by Paddy O'Connor. Paddy O'Connor running into the challenge there of Dan McCluskey, and the referee blowing his whistle, having words. This was Paddy O'Connor.
Yeah, hefty challenge in on Paddy O'Connor. In fairness to him, he's been on a lot of possession so far and is looking to drive forward, and there again put the head down to try and step out between the 2 Antrim players. Drew the free, and a chance now for Shane Conway.
Conway, who scored 2 goals and 22 points in 2 and a bit matches against Antrim this year. Point from a free already. This one up into the air, and hit with his customary accuracy. Another one for Shane Conway, and now the teams are level for the first time in the final. It's Antrim 6 points, it's Kerry 1 goal and 3.
Yeah, you know, I'm from having, you know, played second fiddle for a lot of that first quarter to Antrim, but as you said, Antrim just didn't punish them on the scoreboard, and Kerry now find themselves level.
Kerry suddenly playing with renewed heart. Jason Diggins, captain Kerry to a success in the All-Ireland B a few years ago against Derry. Here he is again, Diggins, looking to try and pick out a colleague. Well, I'm not sure that was his original intention, but anyway, they're on the right wavelength with him now. Mikey Boyle went out there, but had started from a central full forward position. But they win it back through Shane Nolan, getting away there from Paddy Burke. Nolan beats the attempted block of Gerard Walsh, lobs it into the square, but it runs away from goal, and another one has got astray. Yes. All these wides are mounting up, Elaine. Yeah, certainly for Kerry, you know, they have a period now where they've been on top, but they're just not making a count on the scoreboard at present, and those wides could prove costly. Down towards Kieran Clark, such a threat inside against Brian Murphy. Clark almost lost it, trying to go back and retrieve it, eventually rolled up onto the stick of Brandon Barrett. Brandon Barrett then was fouled, trying to get that ball away, and a bit of frustration being shown by the full forward line of Antrim. Yeah, and credit the Kerry backs again. You know, Clark was inside heading for goal, and they stuck with him, got the little flick in, caused the turnover and drew the free. So, you know, getting their numbers back there to prevent those goals that Antrim have been so prevalent in scoring on the way to this final. John B. O'Halloran ready to hit this one down onto the 20-metre line, aimed towards Mikey Boyle, comes back out towards Owen Campbell. Campbell rolls it up, hand pass it out slickly out there, taken away as far as Keelan Malloy. Malloy from Dunloy, up as far as Kieran Clark. Very angle, almost prohibitive, has a go at it, misses, second wide by Antrim. Yeah, ambitious shot from that angle, I suppose, but you know, when you're having the year that he's having, who to blame him for having the shot, but another chance. Poor puck out, goes straight to Michael Bradley, and Bradley can punish that bad puck out, and he puts it over the bar. His first point of the final. Yeah, again, Kerry struggling just a little bit on their own puck out and failing to win primary possession. You know, they have the numbers at the back, but they really need to retain possession then when they're going forward. Antrim back in front again by a point. Welk taken in by Michael O'Leary, hand passing it into Shane Nolan. Nolan now trying to get away here from Gerard Walsh, hits this shot, and the pressure paid that time, and you can see Ryan Elliott saying to his man, well done, you put Shane Nolan off his stride as he was trying to get that ball, but the referee is bringing the play back, and it's got to be a free in. Yeah, I didn't see what the free was for. I thought it was a good hook, to be fair to the Antrim player on his way back, but a great take from Michael O'Leary initially from that puck out. And you know, we talked about Kerry gaining primary possession. That was a great, put his hand up, gain possession, and Kerry not afraid to play that crossfield ball. A push in the back, the reason why the referee has given the free, and Shane Conway has the opportunity of getting his third point. Rarely misses. 3 for Conway, all of them from frees. This is the reason why. There was a little tangle there involving Keelan Malloy and Shane Nolan. So the teams are level for the second time. Stephen Rooney belts it away downfield. It's still in play. Not any longer. Went off the stick in the end there of Conor McCann. McCann, who got 2 goals and 3 points against Kerry 4 weeks ago when they met in Belfast, Corrigan Park. Yeah, and credit to Shane Conway there. When Antrim had gone short to Stephen Rooney with that puck out, Shane Conway was up quick on him, put the pressure on him, and maybe the delivery down the line wasn't as good as Antrim would have hoped for, and it allowed the Kerry backs just to get that little bit of pressure on and force the ball out over the line. Michael Lean. 2 Antrim players there. Gerard Walsh able to take it down. Look up, size up the angle of difficulty, but that's going flying away to the left, and that's 3 wides now by Antrim. Yeah, maybe just a bit anxious from Antrim. You know, they haven't scored in a little while, and maybe just anxious to get something on the scoreboard. Almost stolen there by James McNaughton, recovered by Fionn Mackesy, centre half back, and he holds on too long. It's going to be free against him. So a chance for the free taker, Kieran Clark, to put Antrim back in front again with just over 27 minutes gone of this McDonagh Cup final on All-Ireland hurling Sunday.
Yeah, Kerry just failed to gain possession from that puck out initially, did well to recover, but then just the Antrim players, the spill possession gave them the chance to get in and put the pressure on the Kerry player and force the overcarry.
Well, the linesman Sean Stack on the far side saying to Kieran Clark, bring it back a little bit. Not sure it's going to make an awful lot of difference for a player of the class of Kieran Clark, sharpshooter for Darren Gleeson's team. 4 points so far, 2 of them frees. And the usual effective result from Clark, 5 on the day so far, and Antrim slip back in front again, 8 points to 1-4.
Yeah, he'll be happy to have scored that one. There was 2 there previously, had just dropped a little bit short, and you know, nice to get one within your range just to get the scoreboard ticking over again.
Niall McKenna has done really well to dig that out of a group of players racing forward here, aware he could be hooked by Paddy O'Connor. It's one back, however, and it's Jason Diggins for Kerry, giving it off as far as Michael O'Leary, looking to try and get that ball down into the forwards. It hasn't been down there often enough. Jason Diggins, O'Leary falling, giving it to Dan Collins, unchallenged now for 45 metres out, measures it expertly, and that's his first point of the final, and the teams are level again, 3rd time.
Yeah, Michael O'Leary did really, really well as he was slipping there just to get the ball away to Dan Collins, and a great score. He's been getting on the end of some of those passes, but he's had a wide or 2 there, but that one just sailed over the bar, and a great response from Kerry.
And O'Leary looks like he requires some treatment from Abby Dorney. Player who got 3 points in the 2015 Christie Ring final here when Kerry were here last. Fintan O'Connor will be no doubt very keen to see what happens in the next match as well, as we all will be, because he was a selector with Waterford in the recent past.
Yeah, and he'll be happy that his side haven't conceded a goal. You know, if they can get into half-time without conceding a goal to this Antrim team, it'll give them, you know, great confidence for that second half. It's been the goals that have killed them all year. Well,
the goal was a very fortunate one for Kerry, scored by Mikey Boyle after 20 minutes, but they'll take it. And it's kept them very firmly in the match. Good catch by Fionn Mackesy. O'Leary trying to retain it. Referee blows his whistle. And it's going to be a line ball over there. Sean Stack from Dublin, with strong Clare connections, of course. So it'll be Joe Maskey who will take this. As the crow flies, he is about 45 metres, a little more maybe. And that is the angle from the reverse angle. Maskey. Easily won back here by Shane Conway, who hasn't had an opportunity to shine quite as much as I thought people expected. A long way to go in the game. Paddy O'Connor, down he goes. James McDaughton fearing the worst. Referee Liam Gordon from Killimer in Galway, notebook out. Could be the first card of the match. Yellow card for James McDaughton.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see, you know, Shane Conway back in his own half-back line, maybe not doing the scoring exploits, but if you see him when he gets on the ball, it's his vision and his passes are so accurate. You know, that pass just there obviously put Paddy O'Connor into a little bit of pressure, but it was a great pass from Shane Conway, real precise and real heads-up hurling from him.
Huge ball down there towards Mikey Boyle, runs on and on and on. And Kerry see another opportunity of getting a score go astray. They've got 7 wides already. Teams level, 3rd time. 4 minutes or thereabouts remaining in this first half. Long ball downfield towards Kieran Clark. Scampers out ahead of the cornerback Brian Murphy. Links up here with Owen Campbell. Feeds it inside. An opportunity. Niall McKenna. And McKenna! Had it gone over the line? Not quite. Close run thing that time for Niall McKenna, and even more so for Kerry. Well, that would be worth seeing again. Had it actually gone over the line, I wonder? Here we go. Now. Ooh, maybe not the whole of the ball, but certainly a part of it was.
It was borderline, wasn't it?
Very, very borderline. We can't say definitively that the whole of the ball had gone over the line, though. And that is the thing.
And O'Halloran looked to have it covered, you know, had gone for it with his hand first, looked to take a deflection maybe outside from a Kerry player that just put the flight of the ball to his left, and in credit to him, did really, really well to get back and was at full stretch to take that one from right on the line.
Kerry grateful that the line was reasonably wide down there, well painted by the ground staff here, and they got away with it. Touch of luck at the other end, touch of luck at this end. Is Kerry's day in, you wonder? Liam Gordon, the referee. Now what's he planning to do here? He's going to throw it in. Not going into the... Oh, the referee has said it's not a legitimate ball, I believe.
Yeah, the Kerry players seem to be protesting that Clark had swapped the ball maybe and had gone straight to his hand to look for that sliotar, and that seems to be what the referee had pulled back on.
Whatever happened to those yellow balls we were all talking about when the championship started? Anyway, it's going to be a free in. Kieran Clark's going to take it. 5 points so far. Just over a minute remaining in the opening half. A couple of talking points. And this is fired over for his 6th. And so Antrim have 9 points, Kerry 1-5. It's Antrim by 1. There'll be 2 minutes of additional time at the end of the opening 35. Brandon Barrett was yellow carded for a foul there during that last sequence of play.
Yeah, it was a heavy tackle in on Dan McCluskey there, just on the Kerry 21 as Antrim were attacking, and that's what resulted in that end free, but yellow card for Brandon Barrett.
So we're heading towards stoppage time at the end of the first half, and it'll be Shane Conway standing over this. 3 points all from free so far for him. Very invaluable scores. That's up into the air, but it's moving in the wrong direction, and that is a 4th, or rather it's an 8th wide by Kerry, 4 or 3 wides by Antrim.
Yeah, Kerry obviously happy that he was going to go for it on that occasion. There was no Kerry player between him and the goal, so they obviously knew he'd have the distance, just not the accuracy on that occasion.
Stephen Rooney playing in his 2nd final at Croke Park, hitting this ball downfield as far as James McNaughton, looking to add to the 1 point he's got already in the game, and he's missed this one.
Yeah, great take from McNaughton there, went high above the couple of Kerry defenders and took it down really, really well, but just shooting maybe off the back foot from too much of an angle.
Missed in the air there by Michael O'Leary. Dan Collins trying to win it for Kerry. Rolled up onto the stick of Shane Nolan. Inside there towards Maurice O'Connor. Ball hasn't been going into Maurice O'Connor, who's a brother of Paudie, the midfield player. Dan McCluskey hitting it back, well blocked. Taking it forward here is Shane Conway. And in the end, the referee bringing the play back for the foul on Conway. Antrim realised that he is very much the danger man from a Kerry point of view. That was a great block down there by Conway.
Yeah, textbook block from Conway, and opened up, saw the road in front of him and had to go for it, looked to get the pass away, but just pulled back and fouled by Keelan Malloy, who made great road to get back on top of him there, and a chance now for Kerry to equalise.
So Shane Conway has a chance of getting his 4th point of the game, and this to level the match once again, close to half-time. Giving himself every opportunity. In towards the sunlight at Hill 16 end, and Conway getting his 4th point, and the teams are now level for the 4th time.
Yeah,
Nothing
Kerry,
to choose between
Quentin
them.
O'Connor will be happy with that first half. You know, as I said, they haven't conceded a goal yet, and you know, they're well in this game. A little bit of wayward shooting from out the field that if they can correct in the second half, they can really ask questions of Antrim.
Shane Nolan. Nicely across, trying to retain it in there with Mikey Boyle, but this time beaten by Matty Donnelly. Pressure coming in there from Sinead Mackesy, helping Mikey Boyle. 2 Kerry players there to try and take it up onto their sticks. Now a 3rd one, and Shane Conway In here to Shane Nolan, giving it back to Paddy O'Connor. Low probing ball inside there, this time to Maurice O'Connor. They're taking a while about it. It's Shane Conway feeding it out as far as Michael O'Leary. Maybe that'll be the last score of this first half, and it probably is. Michael O'Leary shooting Kerry into the lead here by 9 points to 1-7. Measured play, slow play, deliberate play. What a wonderful finish.
Yeah, really slow build up, but they were lining up for it across the middle of the field in the 65 there, and Kerry did really well to work it through the hands and eventually out into Michael O'Leary, who had that shot to put them a point up at half time.
Well, Antrim were the team happiest at the end of the opening quarter, but the second quarter belonged to Kerry, and Fintan O'Connor now and his backroom team have much to build upon. Antrim have much to reflect upon. The only goal of the first half was scored by Mikey Boyle after 20 minutes. There was a very near thing from an Antrim point of view, and Kerry getting a bit of a let-off when the ball just stayed outside the goal line at the break. It's that last point by Mikey O'Leary that splits the teams. It's Antrim 9 points. It's Kerry 1 goal and 7. We're back with Joanne and the panel right after this.
That's it. Come on, Gleeson. Now, Paddy, we better go out and milk the cows.
And it's in the net, and it's scored by Bernard Brogan. They're level.
Bang, bang, bang.
Lee Keegan steps up to put Mayo in front. Free kick to win the All-Ireland.
Dublin take on Mayo in the All-Ireland football final. Saturday at 3:40 on RTE2 and RTE Player.
Switch to VHI Healthcare for all the benefits of being with Ireland's #1 health insurer. As a VHI member, you can see an online doctor 7 days a week at no extra cost. And get fast access to our member-only VHI Swift Care and VHI Paediatric clinics for as little as €200 per month for 2 adults and 2 kids. Call VHI Healthcare today.
Happy Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
It's a millionaire raffle ticket. There's €1,000,000 up for grabs. Oh, Jamie, how did that get there? Hold on to that. You could wake up a millionaire on New Year's Day. Oh, there it is. Thanks. Tickets are limited. What did you get me? How did you know?
Millionaire raffle. 1 millionaire guaranteed. The National Lottery. It could be you.
All the trees are on display now, and it's cold now. How I love to be at home. Now I can stay.
Wherever you find the tree this Christmas, we hope you like what's under it.
Give yourself a Diet Coke break.
Super duper coordination.
Wow, how'd you put that together? Where'd you get that from? I know, right? It's a gift.
Did you buy the girl a designer outfit?
Yes. She's had such a hard year. She blooming well deserves it, if you ask me.
Everyone deserves great gifts this season. How festive.
On the days over Christmas, I like to watch movies. 12 Little Creatures, 11 Sonic Booms, 10 Kisses Last Christmas, 9 Dancing Cats, 8 Harry Potter, 7 Play Jumanji, 6 Tribes of Trolls, 5 Frozen Friends, 4 Little Women, 3 In Secret Garden, 2 Bad Boys, and an Elf in the Big City. Movies to make your Christmas on Sky Cinema for just €10 a month. Search Sky Cinema Christmas today.
Oh, we're out of clean glasses. Sorry, guys. It's time.
Don't be afraid to get creative this Christmas. Don't mind if I Baileys.
Championship Hurling, the clash of the Ash. Helmet and Hurley at the ready. Centra, proud sponsors of the Hurling Championship.
For quite some time in the first half of the Joe McDonagh Cup final, it was all one-way traffic going the way of Antrim, and yet at half-time it's Kerry who lead 1-7 to 9 points, and it was Kieran Clark who got 6 of those 9 for Antrim as well. Yeah, lovely day here at Croke Park, and Henry, Antrim just got out of the blocks and they looked like they could open up a big lead at one stage, and yet they didn't.
Yeah, no, I think they started very well, and I think Kerry were a bit nervy. Kerry obviously funneling a lot of players back, so Antrim had the use of the puck out. But who started very well was Kieran Clark. Looks very dangerous inside. He's probably been the top forward. Here he is, bust the ball down to his angle. Just his speed and his wrist work, beautiful score, absolutely. And again, Antrim were winning a lot around the middle third. Kerry playing very defensive inside. Look at that, just the flick of the wrist, and over the bar again. So Kieran Clark very good. Conor McKenna, a very good footballer as well, has started very well in that first quarter. They went 6 points to 2 up a quarter. Here he is, you can see the footballer in him, up very high, wins the ball down and over off his left and sore. At that stage, all the momentum was with Antrim. But from there, the goal made a big change in the game.
Yeah, it did, and it came after the water break. We don't know if that was anything to do with it, but certainly there seemed to have been... Was there some bad luck in this goal?
There was. I mean, Matty Donnelly won't be happy when he sees it again, Joanne, but the sun definitely had a huge factor to play in it. I mean, he did everything right. No, they lost possession here. Kerry swarming very well and worked the ball out. Eventually breaks outside. I think it's Shane Nolan is gone on the overlap, and he's going for a point, obviously, but like Matty's out in front, but he misses it completely, and Mikey Boyle just keeps his eye on it, and a very good finish by Mikey Boyle. But we just showed it. I mean, he really should have taken it. But just look at the umpires here, Joanne. They have their hands up to block the sun, and it's just unfortunate, I suppose, time of the year and the time of the day. But that really ignited Kerry from there, and they really came into the game. Michael O'Leary came very much in. Great setup here for Daniel Collins, a very accurate player. And again here, they worked this ball superbly. Didn't panic. There was a few chances of shots. And again, Shane Conway only coming into the game the last 10 minutes really strongly. But again, out to O'Leary and over the bar. They go down the tunnel ahead, they'll be wondering how, but we see here why.
Just coming in on the Matthew Donnelly mistake there. The sun is the most difficult thing to play against, and especially when you're down that end. I can often remember standing there and not being able to see the ball and waiting for it to come out of the sun. And especially as people can see on the field, there's loads of different shades. If the ball is in one of the shades and then it comes out, or vice versa, it's a really hard thing to deal with. So it looks like a terrible mistake, but I think he does deserve a pass for that.
Well, it is one error that was punished. Now, there was an error down the other end that wasn't punished, but the big question for everybody is, should it have been? Should this have been a goal?
Look, it was good play by Antrim going right at the Kerry defence. The shot comes in, there's a deflection from the defender. The Kerry keeper does really well to get back. But I think, looking at it, and I am conscious that we don't have the perfect angle to judge it, I think the ball was over the line. Looking at it there, here's the wrong angle to look at it, because this is behind, in the same way that looking at the previous angle probably doesn't give the true one either. I would say though, I question the umpires. I always believe umpires should be more active around the goals and preparing for a situation like that. But I actually think if you look at the shape of the ball, I'd contest that point of the ball, from where I was looking at it, looked as if it was over the line.
I can't believe it. Henry, I don't know. I thought the whole of the ball is not over the line. You think your man would be some bit of sympathy with the goalkeepers union here? Like.
Well, that's what I was thinking, but I'm not surprised he was giving out with the umpires. That's one sure thing. But I think we can't be 100% certain, Dolan, that it was over the line. So we have the use of two, goal line technology. We're looking at two different angles. So for me, it wasn't completely over the line.
He actually did brilliantly, the keeper, to get back from the deflection.
That's the point I was going to make. That he actually did outstanding to get back, and but that's my opinion. I'm just finding it out.
All right, well, it's kept it interesting anyway, and it has been an interesting opening half. We may get plenty more goals as well in the second half, because the games between these two teams this year have produced plenty. So we have the second half coming up, and also another chance for you to win with our competition. 13th of December, and we have the All-Ireland hurling final live. Limerick against Waterford throwing in at 3:30. But first of all, we have the second half of Antrim against Kerry. Henry, it hasn't been the best of games so far. Do you think it might be nerves, because these players are not used to coming to stages like this and being watched by so many people?
I do think there is definitely a bit of nerve, because there's a lot riding on it, you know, to get up to the Lee McCarthy Cup is the big game. So I'm actually hoping they'll come out and express themselves so much more, because I think both teams have been nervy. Kerry will be happier. Definitely Kerry will be happier, because they've flooded back. I think Antrim have been sucked into Kerry's game plan, and they've flooded a lot of bodies forward, and Kerry are creating that little bit of space, and the goal has been a massive momentum splitter. Antrim looked the better team to me, but Kerry are driving in there, so they have a great chance.
Anthony, you noticed that Shane Conway, he was initially kind of hanging around that half-forward line, but he's been given more of a free role, has he?
Yeah, he was orthodox sort of left half forward, joined, you know, early on, and he just has decided, I'd say himself, maybe with a quick nod out to the sideline to Finton, that I'm going on the move here, and that's what he's very good at. He's good at drifting back to his half-back line, collecting ball from the half-backs and teeing up ball for the inside line, or you know, little 1-2s and stuff like that. He's very, very skillful, as we say, and you need him in the play.
Donald Oak, very quickly, what way do you see this going?
I think once Antrim will get back into their flow, I was surprised how much the goal knocked them back, but look, we know the way momentum can swing in a game, but I'd say they've had a good chat at half-time there now and digested that, and I do think once they got into their flow that they'll still end up winning.
Joanna, see 26, Conor Cunningham is coming on. He was one of the top players from the line, so they have a serious full forward line with him inside with Kieran Clark now, so they could be going for it all right.
And we see Brendan still yapping in Finton's ear as well there as we get ready for the second half, so let's head back to Elaine and Ger.
Yeah, just waiting for the officials to go across. That's the replacement then. That's Conor Cunningham, who's just come in. It has been marked there by Eric Lean. Not sure exactly who's got off just yet. The player gone apparently is Dan McCluskey. Second half gets underway. Antrim a point behind. James McNaughton tripped, first free of the second half, coming immediately.
Yeah, really quick pick up there from McNaughton from the throw-in, and just a little stray leg out there that caused him to trip over, and a chance now for Antrim to get back on level score straight away.
Well, they're telling me that this is perhaps the best Antrim team they've had for quite some time. Everybody who is of a standard has made themselves available for the team manager, Darren Gleeson. By comparison, Kerry have been hit by injury, and Martin Stackpole, John Buckley and Jordan Conway all missing because of injury. First scoring opportunity of the second half falls to Kieran Clark, looking to level the game for the fifth time. 65 metres out. Oh, that's low. In here as far as McNaughton, who could still make it happen, giving it back towards Clark. The one he mishit, so from play instead he puts it over the bar. His seventh of the day. Teams now level 5 times.
Yeah, and you could see Clark straight away once the free had gone short. He was on the move again, knew that it would be recycled out to him, and was there and willing to take it.
Trying to win this puck out here is Michael O'Leary. Went up high for it, didn't take it. Kicked back there by Shane Conway. Fionn Mackesy retaining it. Short as far as Paddy O'Connor, a little bit too tight maybe, and that inviting the Antrim players on to challenge immediately. By Paddy O'Connor showed his rugged determination, but it runs back towards Gerard Walsh, and then Paddy Burke put under pressure, Paddy Burke rather, and helped out by Owen Campbell. Campbell hand passing it away to Niall McKenna. He was the one who hit that shot that trickled on the goal line and might well have been an Antrim goal. Down here towards the substitute, Conal Cunning. Won back, however, by Eric Lean. First ball that came between the two of them, he won it, showing great determination. Paddy O'Connor for Kerry. Well, with both sides playing with an extra man back, it gives Jason Diggins, or rather it gave Gerard Walsh the opportunity to get that ball away. Here's Tomas O'Connor. And fouling the ball, the referee has decided. O'Connor looking for an explanation. Man from Crotta O'Neill's from the Kilflynn area near Tralee. Did he handle it in extra time?
Just took it into his hand for the third time. Thought he had a way out from defence there, and just found his way blocked by the Antrim players, and just for that slight second lost count, and took the ball into his hand the third time, and an easy free now for Antrim.
Well, the last one was 65 metres out, mishit, but this one Kieran Clark already visualising how it's going to go. And this to put Antrim back into the lead again. At one stage they led in the match by 4 points. 11 points for Antrim, 1-7 for Kerry. 3 minutes into the second half. John B. O'Halloran's long puck out. Again, the usual target, Michael O'Leary. But they've anticipated that, and even though he didn't have a hurley, Michael Bradley was able to kick it away to a colleague. Retained here by Keelan Malloy. Down low to try and pick this one up went Kieran Clark. Loses it. Away quickly by Dan Collins. Battling to win it here is Matty Donnelly. Working their way out of defence. Putting the pressure there on Tomas O'Connor. As far as Dan Collins. Short, deliberately so. Mikey Boyle then eventually whipping it in, but the wrong side of the goal area. And that is their first of the second half to go wide. They're 9th in all.
Yeah, Antrim going really low there to try and gather possession, and you know, great pressure from Kerry and snuffled out the danger.
At the other end it is Conal McCann leaving it short. Goalkeeper able to drive it back once again. Goalkeeper from Kilmoyley, John B. O'Halloran, as far as Michael O'Leary, couldn't get to it, but it ends up being a line ball for the Kingdom. Driven over there by Paddy Burke.
Yeah, maybe still just a sign of some of those nerves still in play there. A couple of those balls dropped short, a couple of the balls, you know, Mikey Boyle's shot there at the goal just sliced off the hurl and not really a real shot either, you know. Still a little bit of nerves and a lot of mistakes being made on both sides.
Both management teams trying to sum up exactly what they might do just to try and tilt the game in their team's direction. Shane Conway, 4 points in the first half. They've all been from frees, but he's playing his part. Really good effort, but to the right. Missed opportunities, second wide of the second half.
And similar to his one in the first half, then just drifted off to the right and wide, and another missed opportunity, really.
Joe Maskey then from that short puck out. It's a huge one down. They're chasing in after it here. Across there came Eric Lean. Conal Cunning giving himself a better chance, making the angle a more favourable one from a striker's point of view. But he hasn't managed to deliver. First wide of the second half for Antrim, 5 for them now.
Yeah, really long delivery from Antrim there, in over the top of the Kerry full back line. Did well to get back, but Cunning did really well to gather on his end line, make a bit of space for himself, but just the angle still a little bit too tight.
Problems here for Eric Lean, it seems. Eric, who's a teacher, who's represented UL and indeed captained Art Fert football team as well. And a change about to happen. This is where Lean was coming across here, collided with Kieran Clark, gave the shoulder and seemed to come off second best. And the physio just trying to make absolutely sure that he's okay to continue.
Yeah, really heavy shoulder there, but you know, he did really well to clear his lines and clear the danger, knowing that Cunning was bearing down on it.
Well, we're going to see a change in just a moment, and it'll be Barry O'Mahony who comes in. Very interesting player from Crotta O'Neill's, a minor football winner with Kerry in 2017. If he comes on, he was an Electric Ireland minor football all-star that year. Well, it seems that Eric Lean is able to continue, but the change has got to be made now. And Maurice O'Connor is the one who's going to be making way. And Kerry's first change involves Barry O'Mahony.
Yeah, and Barry, a huge player for the Kerry under-20s last year on their way to their All-Ireland title. As you said, a footballer and a hurler, but, you know, poses another danger to them now in on the edge of the square, and they'll be anxious to get some ball into him now and see if he can make something of it.
He played here on the day Kerry won the 2017 minor football final against Derry. That was the day that David Clifford got 4 goals and 4 points. Right now it's Kerry trying to make some headway, stopped by Niall McKenna for Antrim. And the referee is going to bring the play back.
Yeah, it's signalled for the advantage, and just once that ball rolled over the line, no advantage accruing, so pulled it back for the free.
And it'll be, well, Owen Campbell was thinking about it, but he's leaving it there. And James McNaughton will hit it again instead for Darren Gleeson's team. Darren, who was sub-goalkeeper for quite a long time to Brendan Cummins, and then when Brendan retired, Darren became the #1 and won his All-Irelands with Tipperary. now spreading the gospel in Antrim and in Kerry, both men. James McNaughton gone right, in spite of everybody's best efforts. So it stays 11 points to 1-7. Antrim by a point.
And again, Kerry will be happy enough with their defence back there. You know, they haven't conceded a goal yet, and we spoke about goals and that Antrim full forward line so much in the build-up. You know, they are so lethal at getting goals in there, and the longer Kerry can hold them out and, you know, start tacking on a few points themselves at the far end, they'll be in this game down the home straight.
Both sides looking to get an edge, maybe here. Michael O'Leary has won that puck out, gives it inside here towards Paddy O'Connor, just about managed to retain it. Onto him immediately came 3 Antrim players. The eagerness and the intensity of it all very, very evident down there. Owen Campbell, just as he was getting that ball away, whistle sounds, free once again. Michael Lean disappointed, Campbell down on the ground. Free going to be to Antrim. Physio across there to check. And there's a yellow card there which has gone to Michael Lean. And I gather that Neil McManus is about to come on. Well, it's good to see Neil McManus back. He got injured when the teams met in the Division 2A League final, which ensured that Antrim won that game against Kerry, and they go up into the First Division next year. Donald Nugent is on as well. So 24 and 22 on.
Yeah, huge substitutions to make for Antrim at this stage of the game now, and they'll be hoping to get both those players onto the ball.
On the ball right now, and hitting that one was Michael Bradley. Winning it back here, Brandon Barrett. Taken back once again by Niall McKenna. Looking at his handiwork, and well, he might, because that is an absolutely superb shot. Niall McKenna, man who played in the All-Ireland Under-21 final 7 years ago against Clare in Thurles. So 12 points to 1-7. Barry O'Mahony over there, looking to just hold possession and use it productively. Get it in towards Mikey Boyle against Matty Donnelly. Tasty challenge there for both those men. Rolled up by the 6'3" Matty Donnelly. Stephen Rooney, look at the way, it's impossible to get an inch down there. Closed down by Barry O'Mahony. Absolute intensity, the desire to win, absolutely plain and obvious.
Yeah, no, O'Mahony brings maybe a physical presence up to that full forward line there that maybe Kerry had been lacking. You know, apart from Mikey Boyle up there, they hadn't really made the ball stick, and that's the first time they put that Antrim full back line under any real pressure. Antrim
by 2 points. Kerry trying to win ball on their own half back line. Michael Lean trying to get away, confronted there by Niall McKenna. McKenna knocking it forward here, but back goes Michael O'Leary to help out. Looking around to see where's the optimum place to put this ball. He gives it in towards Brandon Barrett. Closed down immediately. That was the substitute Conal Cunningham was onto him. Back out it comes towards Niall McKenna. There are times when it's an absolute real dogfight down there between two sides who are giving it everything they've possibly got.
Yeah, and you just get the feeling now those two substitutions for Antrim have just given them a little bit of momentum and a little bit of energy lift out there on the field, and they've turned Kerry over a couple of times now and converted them into scores. So you just feel that Kerry really need to get something here now if they're not to let Antrim take on ahead of them.
Well, Antrim have the chance now of putting 3 between the teams, and it's Kieran Clark once again. Just 20 metres out. You know, you could nearly write it down when he's that near to goal anyway, because he's pointed another white flag for Antrim, who now lead by 13 points to 1-7. 12 minutes into the second half, which means we'll be having a water break in another 3 or 4 minutes time. Kerry looking to try and get the next score. It slips away from Dan Collins, picked up here instead by Stephen Rooney. Out towards Niall McKenna, trying to go by Jason Diggins. Has a player in support ahead of him here, uses him. Neil McManus, first time we've seen him in this championship, and that's what he brings. McManus on the field only a matter of minutes, and he drives it over from near the sideline. Any player at any level would be delighted to get that one. He's got it, and Antrim lead 14-1-7.
Yeah, what a substitute to have to bring on. You know, been a massive part of Antrim hurling for many years now, and missed most of this campaign through injury. But when he comes on and can bring that level of scoring threat up front.
Owen Campbell back in again here. Should run all the way through to the goalkeeper, John B. It's 2 against 1 over there. Once again, it's Michael O'Leary, the target, batted down by one man down as far as Niall McKenna. And McKenna from Sarsfield's tearing away off his left-hand side, 45 metres out, and everything is going right for Antrim at this stage in the game. And the water break can't come quickly enough for Kerry. They're behind by 15 points to 1-7.
Yeah, and I think if this is to be the water break rather than it's just a substitution, but Kerry, as you said, really do need that water break at the moment now just to break that Antrim momentum. Those 2 substitutions that we said have been crucial for them, and they've given them a real energy coming down the home straight now.
There's another Boyle on, and it's Podge Boyle, brother of Mikey, who's come in to replace Paddy O'Connor at a critical stage of the match. 5 between them. Short puck out as far as Michael Lean. Can't hold on to it. Line ball anyway for Kerry, and Lean ready to take it himself. Man who got 3 points against Antrim when the teams met in Tullamore when they played in the Division 2A league final. That was a league final held over for about 7 months. Shane Nolan up here into the corner. Mikey Boyle this time winning it, trying to prod it over and past Matty Donnelly. That's not going to be easy. Beaten earlier on for that goal. He'll have nightmares over that, I know, but not if they win, and he's won a free out now.
Yeah, and Antrim with the numbers back there, you know, they'd 4 players back there. Even if Boyle did win that ball, he still had it all to do inside there, and you just feel the momentum has swung a little bit in Antrim's favour.
Every time, Elaine, a ball is hit towards a Kerry man, almost immediately there are 2 Antrim men on him. Don't know where they come from.
Yeah, that previous the short puck out that John B. O'Halloran tried to get to Michael Yan, you could see Michael Bradley and Kieran Clark just belling in on top of him straight away, cutting out all options.
That's in towards Podge Boyle, back towards Mikey Boyle. Podge trying to get it up. Helped out here by Shane Nolan. They need the next score, they need it somewhere. Will it be Boyle who'll deliver? I think it's just gone. That's gone over the bar.
And a score badly needed by Kerry. You know, they'd gone a long time there without scoring, and the impetus had all been with Antrim, and you know they needed a response, and they need to build on that now.
Podge Boyle, who got 3 points against Westmeath, the scorer there. Real battle there in the Kerry half-back line. Antrim meaning business. Owen Campbell trying to get this ball, trying to keep it away from Fionn Mackesy. Right across the face of goal, but the goalkeeper's able to get across to it before the Antrim player arrives, or should have been anyway. Conal Cunning was lurking. It's gone for a 65. That's a 3rd one that they've had.
Yeah, and again, just shows, you know, the Antrim full forward line, they're battling to push Kerry back at every opportunity. Cunning made massive ground there on getting over to John B. O'Halloran for a ball that looked like it was gone into safety and had been dealt with, but again, chased it down, put pressure on him, and won the 65 for Antrim.
So it's going to be Neil McManus who will take this. He got a goal and 2 when he played here in his last final in 2017 against Carlow in the Christy Ring Cup. 13 years playing at this level. He's already got 1, and that one is right between the uprights again. Well, they say they haven't needed him up to now, but right now it's great to have him.
Yeah, look, he had to go off obviously earlier in the year with that hamstring injury and hasn't been on the field, but credit to the rest of the forwards, they've all stood up. But you know, when you have a hurler of that capability on the biggest day in Antrim hurling for many a year, he's the one you want on the field, and look, he's shown it since he's come in there. A point from play and a point from a 65 there now. Everything is going their way, Elaine, at this stage. They're ahead by 5 points. Just wonder what Fintan O'Connor can do. He's made a couple of changes. Let's have a look at some of the key plays in the last quarter of the game. Mikey Boyle, big, tall man. Yeah, probably a bit isolated up there at times. You know, you need the likes of the Shane Nolans and Shane Conway's maybe running off his shoulder when he's breaking those balls down. But, you know, from a Kerry point of view, those players have been so far out the field, maybe trying to contain Antrim there and stopping their running game, that it's detriment to their game at the other end, and they're not able to get up. And as we saw in that first half, when they were trying to shoot from out the field, a lot of those shots were going wayward, and, you know, they could really do with them now.
Well, Antrim look to be the team who are poised to win this, but will that be the case? Another quarter of the game to go. We should bear in mind that last year, and just an indication of how Kerry have made strides under Fintan O'Connor, last year they needed to beat Offaly to avoid going down to the next tier, the Christy O'Ring Cup, and they did so in the very last match. They've made great advances since that win to get here to try and win this cup, the Joe McDonagh Cup. Third time it's been played for.
Yeah, and there's serious competition in that, Joe McDonagh. You know, from the start of the year, maybe Westmeath and Carlow would have been two teams people would have been looking at to be there or thereabouts, and credit to Antrim and Kerry, you know, took care of both those teams en route to the final here today. They contested the 2A League final earlier in the year, so, you know, two teams here on merit and all to play for now in the last 15 or so minutes.
Indeed, Carlow beat Westmeath in the first final of the Joe McDonagh Cup. Laois won it last year. Today's winners then will take the trophy and they'll go into the Leinster Senior Championship next year. Is it to be Antrim? Do Kerry have a response? They've got work to do. Michael O'Leary, Barry O'Mahony, driven in there long this time. Mikey Boyle trying to win it, but rolled brilliantly up onto his stick. Maddie Donnelly, that was superb. Out as far as Michael Bradley. 3 against 3 down there. Winning it is Donald Nugent. Nugent, who got a vital goal in one of the earlier matches, out there in the field right now, but the free is going to be against him.
Yeah, just blown for overcarrying. Maybe he tried to be a little bit too clever, stepping back inside to Tomas O'Connor there, and just blown for overcarrying. But Kerry now being forced to push up and release that spare player from the back. So the danger is that you open yourself up for a goal on the counter-attack.
Brian Murphy hitting the free. Lands nearly 20 metres out from the Antrim goal. Hooked there, Joe Maskey trying to win it. Michael O'Leary stepping in as well. Dan Collins, point scorer already, hits it back towards Mikey Boyle, goal scorer after 20 minutes. Eventually a shot by Brandon Barrett up into the air. It's not got the direction, however, and that one has gone wide. That's a total of 11 wides in this match by Kerry. They've been very, very costly misses.
Yeah, and they've only scored 1 point since half-time, you know, in that opening 15 minutes. It really has all been Antrim.
From the short puck out, it's back with the goalkeeper. And Ryan Elliott, whose dad Shane was a great goalkeeper in his time for Antrim. Owen Campbell. And Campbell, the 26-year-old, see that one knocked away, but it's going to be retained by the Saffrons.
Antrim now, knowing that Kerry maybe have pushed up their spare player, happy to go along with some of the passes up there and try and create some space.
This is a good run by James McNaughton. Back here to take it, Fionn Mackesy for Kerry. Soloing away, gives it to Michael Lean. Ready, blocked down superbly by Kieran Clark. That shows you the intensity of the play that Antrim are giving this final. They needed to. Again, look at the hooks and the blocks there on Mackesy. Impossible to get the ball away. Eventually, Tomas O'Connor fouled.
Yeah, both teams now know really sensing that it's there for the win, and Kerry looking to push forward. Maxey has been brilliant for Kerry today. He's broken up that Antrim attack on numerous occasions, and, you know, a little bit unlucky there maybe just to be hooked and blocked, but I suppose Antrim knowing now that they really need to finish off this game if they're to come out victors today.
There's been a yellow card issued to Kieran Clark to go with the 9 points that he's scored for Antrim so far in the match. More changes coming, and the next man in will be Colm Harty. Colm Harty from Causeway. Colm, I think, is actually the team captain but didn't get the start, and the man who went for the toss was Brian Murphy. Mikey Boyle off. Fionn Mackesy back here as far as Shane Conway. Conway from the middle of the park, giving it everything. But the referee's going to bring it back because it's a foul on Shane Conway. and a free to Kerry, so they get another go.
Yeah, a lovely little bit of interplay there between the two Kerry players. You know, the short free from Conway, took it back and then used all his experience and skill to just step inside, fluke the shot, and then knowing he had the advantage, spun off that ball that just drifted to the right and wide, with a chance again now from around the middle of the field.
But they are looking for just their second point of the second half, and that second half is now 23 minutes old. Simply not good enough in a final or in any match for that matter. Conway 4 points in the first half. Hit long, hit accurately, hit over. They needed it.
Absolutely, yeah. As you said, 2 points in for what, 20 minutes of that second half tells its own story, really. And you know, they've been doing really well to hold Antrim out from scoring a goal up front, but it has probably cost them at the other end.
That's a great catch by Barry O'Mahony. He's made a difference since coming on. Big one down towards Podge Boyle, breaks down towards Shane Nolan. Can't they get the next score now? Played out here to the substitute. That's Colm Harty, and that's got over the bar. What an instant impact that is. Colm Harty from Causeway.
Yeah, the two subs, a great catch there from Barry O'Mahony back in his own left half back position, and eventually finished then up front by Colm Harty.
That's 16 points to 110, 16 points to 13. Only one score, a goal between the teams really. Let's see what's going to happen next. 13 minutes to go in this final. Jason Diggins battling to win it here, under enormous, intense pressure down there, but it's rolled up onto the stick and taken out eventually by Conal Cunning, and the referee sounds his whistle and a free into Antrim.
Yeah, just a hurl, I think, slid up there and maybe made contact with the helmet just as Cunning was coming out of that ruck there, and you know, free for Antrim, and they'll be happy to put it over and put two scores between them.
Fouled by Barry O'Mahony. The challenge was a bit high. Well, every scoring opportunity now at this stage is so vital. Well, his team got back within 3 points. It'll be back out to 4 in a moment if this man points. 9 scores credited already to Kieran Clark in this match. The angle is a little tricky now, even for a player of his quality. But the 27-year-old from Ballycastle measures it, and measures it superbly. 10 on the day.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant return from him at corner forward. You know, on a day maybe when the rest of the full forward line haven't been lighting up the scoreboard like we're used to seeing them, but he's really kept Antrim in this game.
Again, the usual puck out target. Michael O'Leary gets it into his left hand this time, and then a lapse by Barry O'Mahony to allow Neil McManus to gather, fire it down there. Taken in well. It's Conal Cunning, came on at half-time. Cunning right up towards the 30-metre line, taken down, free in, chance to widen the gap again. Foul there by Eric Lean.
Yeah, and those Antrim forwards now really starting to prosper in the space that's opened up since Kerry have pushed up, and I know that's probably what Fintan O'Connor and his backroom team were looking at in the first half. They were at containing Antrim for as long as they could, but once they've pushed up now, those forwards have really come into their own up there, and they've been creating some really great scoring chances.
Well, they've put up some very, very big and impressive scores. That's a yellow card there, and it's for the number 4, Eric Lean from St. Brendan's. Antrim have certainly put up some very big scores in the matches against Kerry so far in this championship. There was 220 in the league, there was 223 in the league final, and then there was 318 in the round robin. So in this fourth match between them so far, 17 points. It's maybe to the credit of the Kerry defence that they've limited them a little bit this time, but this is another gilt-edged opportunity, and that man Clark is at it again, and Kieran Clark with 11 points out of 18 for Darren Gleeson's team.
Yeah, and if you'd told Kerry coming here today that they were going to contain Antrim and that they weren't going to concede a goal, you know, they'd probably have taken your hand off with it and said we'll be in with a right chance, and to their credit they have been, but Antrim just really starting to show their class in the last few minutes now as things have opened up.
This time a good catch by Fionn Mackesy, but as they try to play it short again, instead of going long and putting the Antrim backs under some measure of pressure, it's back down at the other end. And once again it's Donal Nugent teeing it up here. Cunning this time. Clever as well as cunning. Point for him.
Yeah, and they were just queuing up for it there, you know. Kerry again looking to move laterally with that ball and play really well read and intercepted in front of Shane Conway, and Antrim on the turnover then they were lining up to pop them over the bar from there.
And there's another O'Leary in. It's Brendan O'Leary this time, again from Abbey Dorney. So let's see if the two O'Learys can make a difference to Kerry in the remaining 10 minutes. They'll need to, because Paddy Burke and Antrim are lording it at this stage, firing it away, way down there towards Michael Bradley, collected brilliantly by Tomás O'Connor. O'Connor back out into the centre again. It comes in the hands of Michael O'Leary. Michael has this shot from outside the 65, eyed the target with care and accuracy. His second point, a point in each half for Kerry from Michael O'Leary.
Yeah, and a great take at the back there from Tomás O'Connor that set up that, and Kerry again moving laterally across the field, and Michael O'Leary there on that occasion have the confidence to shoot himself, but again it's only their third point of the second half. 5
points the margin. Time ebbing away. Antrim so near to getting the victory they're craving. Foul this time on the substitute, Brendan O'Leary. So the final few words there with Fintan O'Connor and his team of officials. They've already brought on 4 subs. They've made as many changes as they probably are likely to do for the time being. And it'll be Shane Conway, scorer of 5 pointed frees, 1 in the second half. But Antrim have had an edge for most of the second half so far. They've turned it on. They needed to. Conway now driving it in, and there were players in the square, and it's not going to count, in spite of the best efforts of Shane Nolan.
Yeah, and you know, for all their dominance, you know, Antrim are still only that 5 points ahead now. They look a lot, you know, they look like they should be more ahead looking at them playing here, but when you look at the scoreboard, there's still only 2 scores between, or 3 scores between them. You know, if Kerry can kick on, there's still time left in it.
Antrim have responded each time, but now it's Kerry with Dan Collins setting it forward here. Let's see whether Brendan O'Leary can make a difference, hitting it from outside and getting another score for his team. So the three of the subs have come on so far. Podge Boyle, Colm Harty and Brendan O'Leary have all scored, and they've made a difference, and it's 19 points to 1-12, 19-15.
Yeah, we spoke about the difference the Antrim subs have made since they've come on, but as you said, 3 points from the Kerry subs there, all very crucial scores.
James McNaughton trying to turn inside. Back again in the hands here of Donald Nugent. Strongly built into the centre towards Campbell, can't take it. Instead it's won back once again by Barry O'Mahony of Kerry. Driven down, Shane Conway now in the inside forward line, unable to retain this one, however, helped out in there by Podge Boyle. Conway still trying to battle, won back however by Stephen Rooney. Touching it down here towards Michael O'Leary. Owen Campbell, real scramble for possession. They're giving it everything they've possibly got, both teams, full credit to them on a huge day for Antrim and for Kerry hurling.
Yeah, and a massive prize. You know, Antrim have already progressed. They'll be in 1A of the National League next year, but a massive place in the Lee McCarthy competition at stake here for these two teams. And you know, neither are willing to give it up easily, and Kerry are still there. You know, Antrim haven't managed to shake them off completely yet.
Conor Johnston comes on in place of Michael Bradley for Antrim. Bradley has scored a point in the first half. The Naomh Eoin player makes way. 6 minutes to go. This to be hit now by Barry O'Mahony. Retained here by Shane Conway, giving it back to the sideline hitter. It's drifting, it's moving, it's gone left, it's gone the wrong side of the post. 12 wides.
Yeah, and you could see the two, once the sideline was kind of mishit, you could see the two of them teeing up again. You could see Shane Conway with his vision looking to pick out O'Mahony again, and the shot just didn't find the target. But you know, Kerry are playing a lot of hurling down on Antrim side of the field now, and that's where they need to be.
It's in the hands of James McNaughton from that puck out, diagonally across. Getting there and winning it is Conor Johnston. He's only just come on. He fancies getting among the scorers, but he'll have to wait a little bit longer. 7 wides.
Yeah, showed a real burst of speed there to come out and win that ball really well from McNaughton, having collected from the puck out.
Kerry need a goal, I think, at this stage. Can somebody supply it? Shane Conway. Still Conway. Trickery from Conway. All the way back as far as Michael O'Leary. Somebody needs to take on the responsibility, and before that could happen, the block came in, but the referee is bringing the play back for a foul on Shane Conway, and it's going to be a free from just around the 20-metre line, maybe a little bit further out.
Yeah, just Shane Conway showing all his potential, you know, did really, really well, had the ball caught twice there, had the intelligence and the hurling brain to drop it, retain it again, and he was heading for a goal, but when that option didn't open up, happy to recycle it back out, knowing that he had the advantage, and a chance for him now to shorten the gap again.
Second foul there by joemcd, so Conway. This has to go over. This to keep them alive. He's got it. 19 points to 113, 19-16.
And you know, late goals have been a factor of this Joe McDonagh Cup throughout the campaign. So you know that'll definitely be in the back of the Antrim minds coming down the home straight now. Antrim will be sick if they lose this, because they've been the better, more dominant team. But Kerry are doggedly sticking in there, and they've won it again. And it is Fionn, it's not Fionn, it's Jason Diggins this time. All the way up towards Conway. Gets out. Steals a march on Phelan Duffin. Fumbled initially there by Brendan O'Leary. But there's a chance here for Dan Collins. He's unmarked. And he had to put that one over, and he's done it. Point in each half. They're eating into the Antrim lead. It's now a 2-point game. And another absolute brilliant facet of Shane Conway's game there. You know, he's obviously a marked man. He's used to being a marked man at this level, but uses all his intelligence to find the player in the better position and gets the score for Kerry. That's driven down here. Conor Johnston missed one a little earlier on. Hand passes it back out towards James McNaughton. 3 minutes to go in the Joe McDonagh Cup final for 2020. Kieran Clark, 11 points to his name so far. Back out towards Johnston, awkward angle. He knew it from the time it left his stick that it was heading the wrong direction. 8 wides by Antrim. Yeah. This is a very tasty opener for the main fair at 3:30. Waterford v Limerick, the All-Ireland hurling final. The McDonagh Cup Tier 2 competition here, which you're watching. And Antrim hanging on in there at this stage, Elaine. Absolutely, and you know that pass there was just one that if it had gone to hand would have created another little chance for Kerry, but then on the back foot here come Antrim again. Cunning losing that one. They're going to go back for the free, however, so it's not a 9th wide, and they have a chance to give themselves a little bit more breathing space. How they have needed it. Yeah, and credit to the Kerry backs again, you know, in that passage of play. I know the free was given away, but on the occasion before that, it was just pressure after pressure, and it went to numerous Antrim hands, and none of them could get space to get that shot away with the pressure. That Kerry half-back line has been immense for them today. Well, this is another important free coming up here, but before that, let's have a look what Hawkeye comes up with. Yeah, that is a tall. It counts. Point is good. Scored by Cunning. 20 points to 114, 20-17. In the 69th minute, Kerry need to retain possession, need to make it happen. Michael Lean trying to advance. The referee blows his whistle, and it's got to be a free in for the Kingdom. Shane Conway was out on his way out, and he was being impeded as he was doing so. Fintan O'Connor issuing the instructions. This to narrow the lead again. Yeah, and Kerry anxious obviously to get on with and get the free taken quickly and reset, and they really need to retain possession now from this resulting puck out. First of all, Shane Conway needs to knock it over the bar to make it 115 or 18 points. Largely still afternoon, which is the good news for the Waterford and Limerick teams. 7 points for Shane Conway, all of them from place balls, and Fintan O'Connor doing his level best now to gee up his team for one last big effort. This is a massive puck out now. Possession is so crucial from this puck out. And Elaine, with 5 minutes of stoppage time still to go, anybody's match. Yeah, I heard the call from one of the Kerry subs there, plenty of time, and you know there is still plenty of time. And as you mentioned earlier, there have been many late goals in this competition. Referee blows against Kerry this time. Just watch again. Yeah, a little pull of the jersey there from Fionn and just stop the Antrim advance.
That was the one a little while ago about which there was a little doubt, but it did count because Hawkeye played its part.
Yeah, and looked to be no doubt in Cunning's mind when it went over, the little fist pump there to say he was sure it had gone over.
Neil McManus. McManus now 32 years of age, had a great career with Antrim hurlers, hasn't always seen big days, great days, but this is looking like a very nice day for him in the McDonagh Cup competition because he's got a third and they've got 21 points.
Yeah, and a good response from Antrim there to that last Shane Conway point, you know, won their free and stretched their lead again.
This time Joe Maskey beats Michael O'Leary. Shoulders everywhere and anywhere. Paddy Burke needing help. The ball driven back down again here, down into the corner towards Kieran Clark. Coming across here to try and pick it up is Conor Johnston. Johnson fouled. It's got to be a 65 in fact instead. Brian Murphy in with the challenge.
Yeah, Brian did really well just to get the flick in, but unfortunately just a little bit too close to the end line, and another chance for Antrim.
Well, that was the challenge there by Brian Murphy. The end result anyway is going to be a Neil McManus 65. Looking good for Darren Gleeson and his side, with his backroom team of Johnny Campbell and Jim Close. Gary O'Kane has done so much over the year for Antrim hurling. Great hurling family, the O'Kanes. And it's going to be McManus then in the second minute, nearly into the third of the 5 minutes of added time, to build upon what they have achieved so far. They don't want any lingering doubt that Kerry might still edge this one. So he wants to put this one over the bar, and he's done so.
Happy to take all his time over that one and make sure of it and get his fourth point since coming on, and what an impact he has and what a player for Antrim over the years.
So it's a 4-point game. Is that enough now for Antrim? Kerry need to try and win it back. That loose clearance has been picked up here by Michael Lean for Kerry. Dropped in dangerously. First of all, they've got to try and win it, and it's in the hands of Shane Conway. Can he work his wizardry? Conway makes space, makes an angle, and gets the score. 8 points for Conway today. That's the first to come from open play. Super player.
A fantastic score, you know, worth waiting 73 minutes for. Just jinked away and turned and twisted, lost the back, and eventually swung it over his right shoulder.
Once again, there's only a goal between them, but 2 minutes now left on the clock. Antrim need to nurse possession carefully. And there's Gerard Walsh, and it's been given away, and it's Conway who's got it again in this McDonagh Cup final on Hurling All-Ireland Final Sunday. James McNaughton, Kerry couldn't hold it. McNaughton for Antrim has. Back out here, fired long by Donald Nugent, and Nugent is wide of the target.
Kerry lucky to get away with that one, you know, great vision by Shane Conway again, but Barry O'Mahony just waited that second forward and allowed it to be intercepted. So, you know, a let off there that one was wide.
This one is caught here. Taken back once again by Donald Nugent. So into the last minute of the 5. Well, that was where Kieran Clark went down. There was a little tangle there of legs with his marker
initially, and Kieran Clark then looked to clip his own legs, but I suppose when you're the forward out in front like that, you're always going to get those decisions.
Well, just waiting for the final whistle. Thumbs up. He will be delighted. Some achievement. Taking his team up, first of all, from the league up into Division 1 next year, 2021, and now up into the Leinster Championship as well. Next year it won't be the McDonagh Cup they're competing for. They'll be up there with the Leinster teams in the McCarthy Cup Series. Kieran Clark looking to add to the 11 he's got so far. The 5 minutes has been played. This one has gone the wrong side of the post. It hardly matters. We're waiting for the final whistle. There are 3 points between them still. That breaks down. That's picked up by Owen Campbell. We're now deep into the 6th minute, and Antrim waiting for that final whistle to come. There's still hope, perhaps, because it's a free in for Kerry.
One last roll of the dice.
Absolutely, this has to land in the square, and somebody has the chance of making themselves another hero. It'll be taken by Shane Conway. Lobbed in. Well, he's gone for it. He's put it over the bar. Is there enough time for the puck out and a chance to win it? Win possession back, I wonder. 22 points to 117. That's a 2-point game. Ryan Elliott's puck out. We play on. Kerry looking to win it, but it's in Antrim hands instead. Donal Nugent powerfully forward, but not able to link up with a colleague this time. Brian Murphy on his hands and knees, then getting up and giving it away out to Tomas O'Connor. Kerry looking to try and retain it. Antrim need to get it back. It's suddenly become desperate. Joe Maskey leaving that one off, but only into the hands of the Kerry goalkeeper. It's all over, and Antrim have won, and Darren Gleeson is elated. Absolute elation and joy. They had a target, they had a mission in mind, and Neil McManus came on and helped out with 4 points, and Antrim have won the Joe McDonagh Cup for 2020. It's the curtain raiser on All-Ireland Hurling Final Sunday, but it was a great day for Antrim. They were the dominant force, I suppose, for most of the match, Elaine, and deserved their victory, but it was very narrow in the end.
Yeah, it may feel like the curtain raiser, but for the people of Antrim, I'm sure this is the main event today, and what a victory for them. You know, maybe didn't produce their best display today, or maybe weren't allowed to produce it by Kerry on the occasion, but when the need was greatest and when it mattered most, they were able to look to the bench, bring on the likes of Neil McManus, Conal Cunning. You know, Kieran Clark was a real match winner on himself with his own individual scores, both from play and from frees, and you know, all over during the day you just got the feeling that they were that little step ahead of Kerry for most of the day. Credit to Kerry, you know, they came with a game plan, they shut them down for a lot of that first half, and you know, didn't concede a goal. And as I said during commentary, if you told Kerry coming here today they weren't going to concede a goal, they'd have given themselves the right shot. And look, up to that final puck of the ball, they were in this game. You know, overall a fantastic final, fantastic showcase for the Joe McDonagh, and Antrim look more than equipped to make the step up next year to both Division 1A and to the Lee McCarthy.
So that's how it finishes, with Antrim the winners here, and the final score reads Antrim the head ahead here at the end when it mattered most. Antrim 22 points, Kerry 117.
Ger and Elaine, thank you very much for that. Donal O'Cusack was staying at the start of the day about how important this day is to Antrim and to Kerry, that they couldn't care less about what's happening with the Lee McCarthy today. And we see these scenes here, and it sums it up, doesn't it? Neil McManus, who has soldiered for so long in there, had been injured for most of the year, comes on and makes such a big impact.
Yeah, fantastic. Congratulations to Antrim. You can see what it means. You can see what it means to Darren Gleeson in terms of his reaction there. He's been up and down the road to Antrim from Tipperary, which is no short journey.
3 hours and 45 minutes, he said.
It's 1989. I think it's 31 years since Antrim have been in the Liam McCarthy final. You'd have to question what's been going on since. They have the population, they have the passion. It would only be good for hurling if there was a strong Antrim existed in the Liam McCarthy. I'm not so sure. I wouldn't be as confident after what I saw there in the last hour.
Well, what do you think about that, Henry? I mean, we were talking about it is a massive occasion.
Yeah, and I think we should probably enjoy that, because for any of us that have gone up to North Antrim or up to Belfast to present medals over the years, to see the passion those people have is just unbelievable.
Well, look at that.
Yeah, and I said, look, and today was about them winning to get up to the Leinster Championship. So I don't think it was a more fluent performance. They've been high scoring all year. But I do agree. I know the business forum up there, the Saffron Business Forum, have put a lot of work in. I think Gale Festa, I mentioned it before the programme, has been a massive initiative. It's a kind of visionary plan that they want to implement the culture of Gaelic games in Belfast and County Antrim. And I think they've the development, they've a strength and conditioning course in place. Neil Pendon, that Anthony knows, is now the director of hurling up there. So they have the structures in place. And I do, back to Donal, you know, remembering back to 1989 when Antrim came, you know, it was just like a breath of fresh air, the water we're going to bring today. I think it's only good for hurling to see him up.
Yeah, Joanne, and with Casement coming down the pipeline as well, you know, it looks a fantastic design, and you know that's somewhere where we love to see massive national hurling league games taking place. As you said, like the subs there today, we even look at the backroom staff, you know, like Gary O'Kane, Jim Close, Johnny Campbell, all greats, and managed by Darren Gleeson.
Okay, here is Conor McCann getting ready, so let's head back to Ger.
And first of all, Uachtaráin Cumann Clasquel.
And asanthe sport dúil a thuirtí dung in you. Covrón Kiri, Begla Elguiv, Cogardagus Antrim, Agus Curran sé áhas mór Curran Joseph McDonagh, a brunner Captain Antrim, Conor McCann.
Present the trophy to Conor McManus, lifts that McDonagh Cup, and it's Antrim who are the champions. Well done to Antrim, and we're looking ahead now towards the next final, which of course is the All-Ireland final. It's Waterford against Limerick, coming up soon.
Kios Mór ahas, Dian Kjorn, Shaw Aglahi, our son Fiona.